Leadership Skills Part 2. To be effective in a charge nurse or leadership or management role, you have to cultivate the core knowledge and skills needed for leadership. And you must also be competent in organizational skills and working with other people. By understanding motivation concepts and basic human needs, you might be a more effective leader or manager. So compare the basic needs of Maslow's and Howlett's hierarchies. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which hopefully you should be very familiar with. Physiological being the most basic need, with self-actualization being the highest need, or the area that the fewest people achieve. And Howlett's hierarchy of work motivators. They're going to assist the first line LPN to understand the motivation of the team and its members. All levels are considered to be needs of employees in the employment setting. It's important to understand where each employee is at on this chart. By doing that, it can help the charge nurse more effectively run her team or his team. All levels of the pyramid are considered to be needs of employees in an employment situation. The opportunity to meet these needs can be encouraged or discouraged by the employer, the work environment, and the charge nurse. Remember that all behavior is internally motivated. You can encourage the motivation of your nursing assistants. You can encourage motivation of your nursing assistants that they already possess. If the nursing assistant can see that doing a good job is in their best interest and helps them meet personal needs, they will work hard to meet the goal of their employing agency. You can retain staff by encouraging that internal motivation, channeling the motives of employees to meet the organizational goals, and rewarding desired behaviors. This doesn't mean that it's going to be a physical reward. It may be an emotional reward, like a pat on the back, or recognition of a job well done, not only to the person completing the job, but maybe in front of the employee's peers. So let's apply communication skills to be an effective leader. With verbal communication skills, make sure that verbalization is direct and clear, that it spells out everything objectively, and role model. Make sure, again, that you use I instead of you. And if you bring a problem to your manager, also bring a suggestion for change. Encourage verbal communication from your nursing assistants. Nonverbal, again, is body language. Make sure that you review all written messages before you send them. On the phone, make sure that you are to the point and that you have all the information necessary. You're not having to put the phone down to look up something else. The nursing process can be used to solve resident problems as well as staff problems. Be familiar with the mission statement of your facility because it will define the purpose and the goals of the organization. As far as team building, you are going to be the role model. You're going to be the one that the team looks up to. Allow input from the rest of the team and validate their input as being important, whether it is something that is realistic or not. At least they're trying. The practical charge nurse needs to learn how to detect stress in the clinical environment. So, where is the best place to start when detecting stress in the clinical environment? Remember that it's not the situation but your reaction to the situation that creates stress. Change your irrational thinking to a more rational way of thinking. Irrational thinking is the side conversation that we have with ourselves, and it can often incite us to respond inappropriately. Occupational or clinical skills that are needed for leadership include the knowledge and skills of nursing. So, the clinical skills also include the nursing process. Solid clinical skills are essential for leadership and knowledge of your role in the nursing process. Visible expertise in clinical situations. Make sure that you demonstrate skills to nursing assistants as necessary to make sure that they know the appropriate way to accomplish a task. And show that patient care comes first. Be aware of requirements of federal and state laws and accrediting agents. Documentation always should be specific. It should be objective. Make sure that you avoid those subjective comments and personal judgments in your documentation. Effective documentation is the basis for reimbursement. Documentation is very important because it's part of the legal record that can go to court. And incomplete or questionable documentation could also result in a citation for the facility. As far as legal aspects and regulations of occupational or clinical skills, look at the Nurse Practice Act. Look at the healthcare facility policies and procedures and the state and federal regulations. Look at published standards of your nursing organization and their codes of conduct. Look at the Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act of 1987, or OBRA, and the Joint Commission, which is an independent accreditation agency. With organizational skills, these skills are necessary to function in the organization that delivers health care. Time management is more about management and actually less about time. Your ability to manage time is going to help you organize tasks and allow you to be a successful charge nurse. The nursing process is the tool to help you get organized. Continuous quality improvement is a focus of quality of care. Quality is indicated by patient outcomes. It involves all departments of the healthcare facility, including long-term care. Conflict resolution. Remember that conflict is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it is an opportunity for growth and learning. The presence of conflict can point out the need for change in an organization. When conflicts are out in the open, the opportunity will exist to settle some issues. Conflict resolution involves people settling their differences. Remember that conflict can occur whenever two or more people interact. And unsettled conflicts can slowly grow into something that's much larger and maybe more difficult or even impossible to resolve. As far as human relationship skills, the charge nurse, the leader, has to have the ability to get along with and relate to other people. Leaders that have human relationship skills will get the job done with style and tact, and they don't sacrifice quality to do so. Nursing assistants will value their leader's style more and be more effective in reaching the goals of the unit. Because success depends on what is accomplished through others, the ability to relate well to others is crucial. This is the most important skill to possess. And anger management will foster belonging, affiliation, and recognition. Teaches people to use assertive communication and be active listeners, because anger is a cue that something is wrong. Anger management also seeks input to find solutions to problems, and it encourages self-evaluation. It attempts to help nursing assistants reach their potential. And performance evaluations. Now, the thought of performance evaluation can send shivers up the spine of the person doing the evaluating, as well as the person being evaluated. OBRA mandates regular evaluations of nursing assistants. The purpose of evaluation is to encourage personal and career growth, and it should be constructive. This is not a place to air personal concerns or personal issues between two people. You need to identify and encourage positive behaviors and identify behaviors that need improvement and provide feedback as close to the event as possible. Objectively point out consequences of negative behaviors and encourage the development of employees who will meet the facility's objectives and fulfill the mission statement. Unfortunately, a lot of people use a performance evaluation as a platform to air grievances, and that's not what evaluations are for. Evaluations are to express concerns where performance may be lacking and offer suggestions for improvement versus I don't like so and so doesn't like me, and because of that, things just don't work well between us type of attitude. Again, it should be constructive to help improve the process rather than to rip somebody apart. Empowering team members and encouraging personal growth and development of confidence is a very, very important human relationship skill, and it can be very rewarding for the charge nurse. It provides opportunities to be successful in new situations. Remember to always praise early successes, plan educational opportunities, and provide challenging assignments, not ones in which people are going to be bored because they do the same thing every day. Encourage all employees to be part of the problem-solving process. The charge nurse can encourage the personal growth and development of the team members by his or her own personal character.